So we had our location. We started calling around and getting our things built up. The next thing is when to have it. And it was like, I didn't want it in the summer because everyone in the costumes know how hot these costumes are. Even moderate costumes can get really hot. So, it was going to be a recreational Bilbo's party, so that dictated, okay, September. And we tried to have it on the actual day of the party, but that didn't pan out. And they had another thing going one weekend, so we just got the closest weekend we could. So we had our date. After that, what year we should have it. There was some talk that we should have it the very next year, but we were old and wise enough by that time to know that that's not enough time, especially getting into something that you haven't done before. So we made it 2 years away.
Yeah.
2 years away is when we actually...
After we finally decided everything, we had about a year and a half.
Yeah.
About a year and a half to get it done.
Yeah, get her done.
I was trying to avoid that.
Okay, so anyway, so we put it 2 years on down the road, and then the next thing was to get a list of people, which Daniel was very helpful in that. He had some connections from the gathering in Toronto that we went through, and from conventions that we went through here. We met a bunch of people, and we just started gathering emails and writing people, and if they'd be interested. The next thing was to build a website, because in this day and age, it's an electronic brochure. It's simply the best way to get the word out, and transfer the vision of what you have on there so that they can read it and see exactly what it is. As far as we know, this being the first convention of this type that we wanted to have, and make it clear that this isn't, a costume party, but it's not just sit in class, and it was basically going to be a living experience because of the village setting. And we were just thrilled about that, and we still are.
And let me add in, the design of the website was designed by our own Gandalf. And then the website was put up and maintained by our Frodo.
And still is. He just renewed the website registration just last month, just so that he doesn't want to lose it. So it's unless something catastrophic happens, that website will be there till.
What's the website?
alongexpectedparty.org. It'll be there.
All lowercase.
It'll be there to the end of time if Daniel can help it.
Yeah, that represents an interesting point in time, and it's fun to refer back to every now and then. We were careful. We had been to some conventions that made some pretty big promises and got us pretty excited about going there, and when we went there, that did not happen. And that was one thing we wanted to avoid. So while trying to make an interesting website that had a lot of tantalizing little events, we were careful to try to avoid anything. We said we don't want to put anything up there that we're not going to deliver on. And then on top of that, to add some mystique to it, we didn't want to put everything that we were going to do. We just wanted to hint at things. And as a side note, there were also little things I included in there that were written in the languages of Tolkien, and if deciphered, they led to a riddle. And if the riddle was deciphered, they led to locations, which in the village, if you went, there was a pretty nice little treasure there waiting for you. Only 2 boys that attended there, who without their help, that party wouldn't have happened. I will be the first to admit, we're not too proud to admit, we got in over our heads just because it was our first time, and it was a fantastic learning experience. They deciphered one of them, but they just never followed up on it. So those treasures are still out there.
So the clues are still on the website?
Yes.
Possibly, but they're old clues.
They're old clues now.
They're old clues now. I'm sure that it has been plundered many times and given as tribute to Sauron by now, but there are other treasures from kingdoms long fallen. Oh, well, we're in Atlanta. Sorry. Okay. Now, the why. Why do we want to have this? Because we had ideas, we had visions about things we wanted to do that we weren't getting out of the conventions. And the contrast in ours and the ones here were simple. Has anybody waited in a line here? Has anyone been hot and cramped here? So, these are the things we wanted to avoid. Shakertown actually helped us out inadvertently by saying we can only bed down 150 people. And we said, well, that sounds like a good number. So just to be realistic, we said, how many people should we actually count on having?
One gross of hobbits.
That's exactly right.
And that's how many we invited.
Well,
Cities are busy, it's hustle bustle, it's steel, it's blacktop. This place was a perfect contrast. The brown crackling grass under your feet for that particular year. Let me just say that on my way to pick him up to come down here, I went past the village, and it was as green and lush as it could possibly be. And
So come on
I
back
was
with us, we'll have another party.
yeah. And I was a fussy wizard about that, but it didn't rain us out at the one we did have, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, that was the only good thing about it being so dry.
Okay, and as far as the why, what did it mean to me? It was simply, I had things I wanted to do, and this was a perfect platform for me to do it. I talked to Tim about it, and I asked him on a personal level how he felt about it. I've known Tim. I knew he could count on something if he said he would do something, and if he had said no, I really don't want to get involved in this, it wouldn't have happened. And it couldn't have happened without him, because he did things that I know I'm no good at and incapable of doing. It's that simple. And really, there were so many hands that helped in this. We would just have to list everybody. And help came unlooked for in so many places. It's interesting to reflect on. You take one of those out, and that's something that doesn't get done. You've got to have good, reliable people to do something like this. If you're going to throw a convention, you absolutely have to have that.
And there's the dreamers, and then there's those that need, you've got to have somebody that's going to take care of financials and the registrations and
Yeah.
Yeah,
they got to be savvy with spreadsheets. You have to be PR with people. You have to have technical knowledge. You have to have a lot of things.